All right, everybody. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Today we're talking about growing and maintaining your VIP group. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation today, but I do have a little list of topics that I wanted to touch with you guys. So I'm going to keep referencing back to it to make sure that I cover everything. The number one thing, more than getting numbers to your VIP group, is maintaining those numbers, creating relationships with those customers, and turning them into shoppers. Because a very large group will do you no good if they're just numbers, if they're just there to collect prizes for giveaways, or if they don't even know that they're there. That's something that I see a lot of people with larger groups, myself included, going through right now. We've had a really big drop in numbers over the last, I want to say, week or two. I think I probably lost about 500 members recently. And it's because it's the new year. And so people have taken the time to go through their groups and kind of clean out their feeds a little bit. You know, they have made a resolution of, I'm just going to clear out clutter in my life. I'm going to get out of all these pages that are just clogging my feed so that I can connect better with my actual friends and family. If they are leaving my group, it's because they haven't been shopping with me. So like I said, the important thing more than having people in your group is to have shoppers in your group. So that's a little bit what we're going to talk about today. If you are watching this and you're in the queue, then you have concerns about, where do I start? How do I get those initial numbers? How big is big? You know, how many people do I need to actually start making money and whatnot? This is what I want to tell you guys. It's really not about how many people you have in your group, but about the quality of those people. Just to give you a quick example, in the month of November of 2016, we are now in January, in case you're watching this, later down the road. In November of 2016, my sales were the exact same sales as another team member, another Row National, someone else that did $20,000 plus in sales. My group at the time was 13,000 members strong. Hers had less than 3,000 members. So that goes to show you that you can have the same sales as somebody with 13,000 people, even if you don't have that many members, as long as the people that are in your group are actively engaged, are seeing your posts, seek you out to shop from you, and actually bother looking through your albums and interacting with you and purchasing your product. Are you going to have the exact same sales as somebody with 13,000 people if maybe you have 300 people? Most likely not. It's going to be very, very difficult to get 300 people to shop every single weekend or every single week, or however often you put your product out there consistently. So it is important to continually grow your membership, to continually find new eyes for your older product so that you always keep that inventory moving and fresh. But I want to emphasize how much I wish that I had grown my group more organically. So let's talk a little bit about that. In the beginning, and especially 6 months ago when I started doing leggings loops and other kind of loops like wardrobe loops or, prizes and whatnot, was a very, very popular way to gain new members. And it brought me a ton of customers. It is how a lot of people ended up in my group, but it is also how I ended up with empty numbers in my group, because those loopers are, they'll come in your group, they will stay until you announce the giveaway winner, and then they'll leave. Or they'll stay, but they didn't seek you out to begin with. They were already shoppers from another group that may have gotten in your group, turned off notifications, and never bothered to seek you out again. So how do you get those people that come to your group to stay and then to actually shop with you? Engagement. Engagement, 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 engagement. And I am a broken record when it comes to social media engagement because it is the number one way to turn your newcomers into new customers. If that person that joined your group through a loop, or either, if they come through a loop is ideal because they have voluntarily clicked on your group link and asked to join. So they are conscious that they are now in this group. When you do add a member giveaways, it is a little bit more complicated because the people that are added may, number one, be already put off by the fact that they were added without being asked, or they get added to so many groups nowadays that they don't even bother checking it out anymore. They're just like, oh, okay, just another group, and then never shop from you. That's why it's important that you catch them right away, that you catch their attention, that you are building a relationship with that customer from the moment that you approve them into your group. So social media engagement. It is, from my research, it looks like every time that you make a post, you reach about 10% of your intended audience, right? So for example, for my group, 13,000 people, every time that I post, I am reaching about 1,300 of them. 10% of my group out of 13,000, I'm reaching 1,300. Just because I'm reaching them, most certainly, I guarantee you, I do not have 1,300 people buying from me every time that I put my albums up. I wish. That would be amazing, but I don't. So the way to increase your sales and to bring more people into your group and to have quality customers is to increase the reach that you have. The more you post, the more people will see your posts. The more that you interact with those people, the more affinity you will build with them. This is the way that it works. Say you make a post and they come through a loop, right? To be considered as an entry for that giveaway, they have to comment on your post. The moment that they comment on your post, automatically, the way that Facebook algorithms work is the next time you post, they will see it. Okay, because they just commented on something on your page. So you will post something else, they will see it. If they comment on that second post as well, now they've commented back to back on 2 posts that you've made. Your infinity grew. So then Facebook will think, oh, this person might be interested in what this group has to say. Maybe we should put it on their news feed more often. And so they will start seeing your posts more and more and more often, which means that when you put albums up, they will see it. However, if that person only comments, hey, I'm here for your legging loop or your giveaway or whatever, right? And then the next thing that you post doesn't really catch their attention because it's not personal or because they can't relate or because they're not, it's not eye-catching or whatever, then they will not see your posts again until Facebook has already shown them other more relevant things or what Facebook thinks are more relevant things to that person. So then it might be 24 hours after you've made a post that customer is even being reached. By then, that product has already sold or your albums are down and your sale is over and you've missed out on that chance to connect with that customer. That's why it's important that every single time that you post something, that it is eye-catching, that it is clean, that it is bright, that it is representing the brand well, and that it is connecting with the customer, that it is creating a personal connection that's going to make someone stop as they're scrolling through their news feed and say, oh my God, yes, I totally understand this because Or if you're asking for advice, people love giving their 2 cents. I mean, as a human being, it's just inherent that we care to have our opinions heard. We love giving advice, even if it's not the best advice that we have. We just love giving our opinions and ideas on all kinds of topics. So that's a great opportunity to catch that new person and make them into a new customer. So I just wanted to give you that idea about loops. The main thing about loops and giveaways, especially Add a Friend giveaways, is to make sure that once that new person comments on your giveaway, you have to post something that's going to catch their attention again right away, so that they make a second comment on a feed on your page. And then that affinity starts getting built, and you're capturing them more and more in their attention and building that relationship. My opinion on Add a Friend giveaways, I still use them personally. I have made a decision as of, I want to say maybe 2 months ago, to not participate in loops anymore, because for me, they are not, profitable is not the word, because I'm not after profit when I make loops. They are not bringing the kinds of customers that I'm trying to attract. I have found that they don't bring me that many members anymore. And so by the end of the day, by the time that the giveaway is announced and half of them leave the group anyways, and now I'm out, usually a higher end piece. I usually give away like a Lola or an Amelia or another wardrobe piece for my loops. I've gained maybe 50 members, and it wasn't worth for engagement. Like, I could have spent that time better engaging with my good customers than gaining 50 people who are not interested in engaging with me. But that said, I am in that position because I already have a fairly large group to where I can say 50 people aren't going to make or break my business. However, if you are just starting out, for somebody that has maybe 100 people in their group, 50 new members is a 50% increase. Take it, and take the opportunity of having a smaller group to reach every single one of those people. This is where you're going to find that one customer, because then if you have those 50 people and one person buys from you and likes the experience and adds their mom and adds their cousin and adds their friends, that's where you can start organically growing. And that's the kind of growth, honestly, that I wish that I had focused on from the get-go. Word of mouth, a referral to a friend is the best. There is there's nothing else that a customer can post or say or send to me that is as flattering as a referral, that makes me feel like I am so on the right track, as when they say, hey, I just added my mom, or hey, can I bring over my sister? She's visiting Hawaii and I would love to show her your inventory because I love what you have. That referral, that word of mouth is the number one indicator that I am doing right in my business. So that's what you want. You want to connect with that one person and go so above and beyond in your customer service that's going to get them to refer you to other people. When it comes to, you hear this a lot. I'm just going to start erasing some notes from my notes thing. You're going to hear this a lot about growing your numbers and increasing your customer base. Be generous. Be generous with your giveaways. Be generous with your time. Be generous with your patience. Be generous with your attention. I don't mean go out to Louis Vuitton, buy a bag that you wouldn't even buy for yourself and give away to your VIPs. We all have different limitations. We all have different amounts that we can invest in when it comes to giveaways. But generosity isn't necessarily giving away a $500 bag per week. Generosity is if you know of a customer who might be struggling, it's sending a $5 Starbucks gift card. Not with a purchase, not with a package, but just because. If that customer purchased from you before and you have their information saved on your Google form, and you give them an unexpected note, a card that says, I know that you're struggling. When times are tough, I like to invite my friends out for coffee. I can't invite you out, but I'm hoping that you will use this to take another friend of yours out and know that I'm thinking of you. That is generous. It doesn't have to be expensive to be generous, but the fact that you took the time and the effort to do that for somebody else counts as generosity. I feel like for people in our business, especially, time is one of the most precious things that you can give. And I say this when it comes to our families and when it comes up to our customers as well. The greatest gift that I can give my family nowadays is my time. Is a day that I say, I'm leaving my phone at home. I'm not paying attention to the posts or to the messages or to the emails or to anything else. I'm giving you my undivided attention for this amount of time. That's the greatest gift that I can give my family these days. And it's the same thing for my customer, is when I know that I'm being generous to my customer when I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 6 times a week, to make sure that they're not having to wait 12 hours to hear back from me on a message, that their shipping is being done in a timely manner, that when they write me and ask, hey, can you put together, I just got this pair of leggings, would you perhaps have, a matching Irma? And then I take the time to show them I have this and this and this Irma. And by the way, I would love to show you how it pairs well with this and this legging that I also have. That's generous. You have given one of the most precious resources that we have in this business, which is our time. We all know how much we all struggle with time management, and you have given it to that customer. So be generous, not only in the amount of money that you spend on your customers with your giveaways, but in your customer service and with your time. I know how frustrating customer service can be. I know that contrary to the cliche saying, the customer is not always right, but it's okay. Pretend like they are, even when you don't want to. That doesn't mean that you need to be a doormat and that you need to let yourself be taken advantage of. Be smart. It is still a business, but say yes, even when you don't want to. Miss Erin said this the other day in one of the posts that Ashley made on her page. She said, what is the biggest piece of advice they would give to new girls? And Erin said, say yes, even when you don't want to. And I loved how concise her answer was and how on point it was. I 100% agree, and I 100% run my business in that same way. Do you think that I want to be answering questions on Thanksgiving Day about why their package isn't there yet? Do you think that I want to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday because my customer asked if she can come shop at 8 a.m. so that the shopping doesn't get in the middle of the tour of Pearl Harbor that she's going to do with her sister today? Like, I don't want to, but this happened today before this training. This customer was here for 2 hours. She came at 8 o'clock in the morning with her sister-in-law. Her sister-in-law is visiting from Argentina. And her sister-in-law came. She was so thankful and so impressed that I was up and ready and had a smile on my face to receive them in my home at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, that she said, I am going to tell all my friends about your group. She's like, I'm in Argentina, but all my friends and my family are back in Georgia. She added herself to my group. She has already added 2 friends, and she has shared my page. That's all it takes. Did I want to do it? No, I probably would have rather slept in because I never get to do that anymore. But I did it. And I was generous with my time and with my kindness and with my attention. And it paid off big time. I don't know if any of the people that she added to my group will ever shop from me again. They might not. They might be like, who is this chick and why did I get added to this group? It doesn't matter. The fact is that if she ever gets asked about LuLaRoe, if she hears a conversation about it, she will say, oh yeah, I was first introduced to LuLaRoe when I visited my sister-in-law in Hawaii, and she took me to this girl's house, and it was like this, and this is the experience that she provided me, and she helped me put together this set. I loved it. It was so much fun. We sat on the floor. She offered me coffee. This is what connects us. This is what adds value to our product. When people ask you, why do you sell $25 leggings when I can buy leggings for $10 at Walmart? Because when you go to Walmart, you're not going to be welcomed into a nice, clean family home. You're not going to be offered a cup of fresh brewed coffee that my husband just made because it's so early on a Saturday morning. You're not going to get to sit on the floor and, talk like we're old friends. You're not going to get that personal shopping experience. Nobody is going to come and put together a set for you that works. Nobody is going to tell exactly how to size it. You're just going to have to kind of figure it out on your own, right? But all of these things that I did for this customer have added value to our product, and it has now created a personal connection that is going to allow me to grow my group organically. Because by sharing my group, by adding her mom and 2 friends, that's already out of 1 customer that I had at once, I now have 5. I have the customer, I have the sister-in-law, and I have the 3 people that she added. That is my number 1 advice about growing your group. Make personal connections. The number 1 way, honestly, to make personal connections that I know is to, in my case, to step out way outside of your comfort zone and throw in home parties. This is hard for me personally to even train you guys on, because it's not something that I've done a lot because it's so outside of my comfort zone. But I have made a conscious effort lately to really put my focus on that aspect of my business. The more personal relationships that you have with your customers, the more inclined they will be to refer you and to recommend you and to speak to anybody who will listen about you and about how you run your business. I have a customer who I met for the first time about a week ago. Sorry, I'm just touching on my talking points. I met her about a week ago, and she came over. She bought, I think, 3 or 4 pieces at the time. And she was so thankful that I opened my home to her because I had told her I was going to be available until 5 o'clock in the evening. And she arrived here at 5:30. And she was apologizing profusely. And I was like, it's no big deal. It's totally okay. We're home anyways. I was like, I was just going to start my family time, but it's totally fine. She bought 4 pieces, which totally made the 30 minutes that she was here worth it to me. Then yesterday she came back and she brought her daughter that was turning 21 today. So she wanted to buy her daughter a birthday gift. So she said to me, I just got off work. I got off work at 5 o'clock in the evening, and I only had enough time and energy, frankly, to go to one place to take her shopping. And I told her, hey, do you want to go to so-and-so's house, or do you want to go to Natalia's house? Because for those of you that don't know, I live in Hawaii. I live on Oahu. It is a tiny, tiny island, you guys. I think that it's like 45 miles long is what I heard one time. 45 miles. Okay, so in whatever direction that I go, it's 45 miles at most to any other consultant on this island. And there are probably thousands of us here. And so she said, I had the opportunity to go to another consultant's house or your house. And my daughter immediately said, I definitely want to go see Natalia's house because she has everything. She has the best inventory. So that was amazing that she said that to me. And it really made me think. Another way that another thing that you have to focus on when it comes to growing your group and maintaining your VIPs is you have to think strategically about your inventory. When I harp on you guys about ordering, order often, order small, but make sure that you're getting those orders in. If you don't have new inventory to offer, if you don't have a plan for growing your inventory, if you are constantly destashing lines and you just want to carry Irma's Perfects and leggings, that's all you ever want to sell because those are the top sellers and it's what moves easiest. Let's face it, like it's really not that easy to move a Nicole dress. I've had them on my racks since launch, and I still have about half of the ones that I have on my racks I've had since launch. It's not a dress that moves a lot, but because I have it, people think, oh my God, she has so much to offer. They may not want the Nicole dress, but they want to have the chance to look at it, to buy it, to see it, they like the option. And I totally get that because if I go to a bakery or if I go to Dunkin' Donuts and I want to buy a donut, and I know that I love Boston cream and that 99% of the time, that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to buy Boston cream because it's my favorite, y'all. But I like to walk in and see that they also have jelly donut and that they have one with sprinkles and that they may have a cool one with like some pumpkin filling if it's November, because it gives me options. And I like to have the options, even if I'm not going to go for them all. It just feels better. It feels better than if I walk into Dunkin' Donuts and it's the end of the day and they're not putting out fresh donuts anymore and all they have left is Boston cream. Yeah, that's what I wanted, but I also wanted to see what else you had. You know, I know it's completely silly, but as a consumer, that's how I feel. And I'm sure that a lot of you can relate to that as well. So be strategic about adding inventory, about constantly growing and adding and keeping things fresh. I know that the shipping situation has been rough, especially for those that can't float a whole lot of orders sitting at the warehouse and not getting here, because then you get into a trap of, right, great, I get what you're saying. I want to grow my inventory, but I don't have the sales that you do, so I can't float 6 or 7 orders sitting in the warehouse and not getting here to freshen up my inventory. So until I get my stuff and sell it, I can't spend the money. Trust me, 1000%. I understand that. I get that. And I want you guys to know that you may think, oh, a $600 order to you may not be a big deal. It's a big freaking deal. It doesn't matter how much money I ever make in my life. If I am blessed to continue having good sales and growing in my business, no matter when, $600 will always be a lot of money. $60 will always be a lot of money because I will always remember what it was like when I didn't have it. I've had weeks that I didn't even have $60 in my account to get to the rest of the week. So I know it and I get it, and I will never brush it off when you have thousands of dollars in orders that haven't arrived. I want you guys to know that I know how you feel and I understand, but that it doesn't justify just sitting. You have options. Hit up your local team members. Do a swap. Go on the team pages. Destash what you have to restash with new stuff. Think of new ways to present what you have and get new eyes on your product. If you are sitting on old inventory and you have not received new inventory and you don't have the means to order new inventory, that's totally fine and I get it. But then it's not the end. Go after it. Get in a multi-consultant sale if you need to, because that will put new eyes on your old product. Swap with your teammates to get fresh prints. Sign up for a vendor event. Go on the ISO pages and de-stash a little bit, or do an open house, a last minute open house, and distribute flyers wherever you go. Go out and take 2 hours and go to new shops that you've never been to and pass out business cards like it's candy. Get yourself out there. You will not move your product and get it in front of people if you're not getting yourself in front of people. So I hope that makes sense to you. And that will bring those sales, that will bring those new people and new customers and help you build those relationships that are going to help you build your numbers and therefore get you to higher sales. And then that's when that whole cycle begins, where the more you have, the more you sell, the more you can order, and then you have a nice flow of inventory constantly coming, which gets people to constantly seek you out. Because if I know that you're always going to have new inventory, I'm always going to come back. It's like before LuLaRoe, I was obsessed with Express. I shopped 99% of my closet was from Express. And every single week, I would either log onto their website or walk into the store, because I knew that every single week they had new stuff out. And I wanted to see what it was. Even if I couldn't purchase it that week, I just wanted to see what else was out. So think about that when you are thinking about how to invest your money into this business and how to grow your inventory. Be smart about your orders. Be smart about your purchases. Make sure that you do have some sort of inventory tracking system so that you're not ordering blindly and ending up with stuff that you don't need, or maybe stuff that your customers don't want to see. All right. I highly, highly suggest that you have some sort of system that says, this is how many I want to have. This is how many I have on hand. This is how many I have already coming. So therefore, this is how many I need to order. So that when you are putting that money that's so hard earned out there, you are giving it a purpose. Okay? Think with a purpose. Have a business plan. Your in-home pop-ups, personal connections. Another thing that I wanted to touch on, because it has been a bone of contention in some of the bigger team pages. I have come across a couple of posts about it this week, and I wanted to touch on it with you guys, are the buy, sell, trade pages. There seems to be a lot of confusion about those. So aren't those a great way to grow your numbers? You will definitely get numbers. You will get numbers. You will very rarely get loyal customers out of BST pages. Number one. Number two, it's against PMP anyways. So even if it was a great way to get customers, you're not supposed to be advertising or selling on those anyways. The thing with buy, sell, trade pages is that it takes away from the personal relationship that Deanne envisioned for this company. It says on the policies and procedures that we are not even to be members of that page. I have gone and removed myself from, I think that at this point I'm out of like 99% of the ones that I used to be in. I know there are still groups that I need to continue taking myself out, but I am in so many that it's something that I just go like every evening and I remove myself from a few, and then I'm like, okay, I've given enough of my time and I'm just going to continue doing it. But yes, I am removing myself from every single buy, sell, trade page. You should not be advertising on those. You should not be selling on those for sure. And, oh, but how do I know if my customer is a flipper? Let me ask you this. Why does it matter? Why does it matter if they are a flipper? You cannot control what other people do. You can only control what you do. So, I have not ever advertised or sold in any of those pages, and my business is thriving. There is no reason for you to be on there. I know that it's the true same for Lacey. She has never been in one of those pages. I know that the same is true for Autumn. She's never been in one of those pages. So we have been asked time and again by Deanne to get out of them, to not advertise on them. And apparently home office is starting to really crack down on girls that are on there. So do us all a favor and just remove yourself. Don't look for sales or for customers in those pages. You will get inflated numbers. You will get people that are only there for the unicorns, and then you're going to be frustrated because you're going to say, all my customers ever want are leggings and Irmas. Nobody ever buys an Amelia. Nobody ever buys a Mimi. I can't move a $70 Sarah. That's because you are aiming for the wrong audience. Think of the business that you want to have. Do you want to have a leggings business, or do you want to have a clothing business? That's what I always focus on. I focus on what kind of business I want to have. I definitely want to have a clothing business. My goal is to eventually have every single line that LuLaRoe produces, and to have it in large quantities. I want to be a one-stop shop for my customers. And I'm not going to get that if all I have in my group are unicorn hunters. So that's also why I have slowly dismantled my unicorn vault. I don't do unicorn vault giveaways anymore. And I am slowly putting all of my unicorn prints into circulation and for sale with my sets and whatnot. So think about the end goal and then make a plan about how to get there, how you envision yourself, how do you want to brand yourself, and then work with that end goal in mind. Then quality versus quantity. I kind of already talked about this, but like I said, there was a teammate of ours that had the same amount of sales that I did with 10% of the members. So, I mean, not even that. I had 13,000. She had less than 3,000. So it is important for you to have customers who are interested in getting to know who you are and who seek you out. I have said this on that same thread that Erin said, say yes even when you don't want to. My advice, if you didn't happen to read it, was be you. You do you, boo. It's one of my favorite sayings of all time, with the boo in the end. I love it. I live by it. And I hope to encourage each of you to live by it as well. Because in this business, is the market oversaturated? If you are going to do it like everyone else is doing it, then probably yes, it's oversaturated for you, because nobody needs just another person that does every single thing exactly the same way. They already have options for that. They need you. They need what you bring to the table that no one else can. The market is not saturated for those that are willing to step outside of their comfort zones, that are willing to think outside the box, that are willing to offer something that maybe no one else does. And the way that you do that is by providing them a shopping experience that no one else can, because you have your personality that clicks with your customers, and they will seek you out for that. I mean, people flock towards my group because of my date nights, the game night, date night that Nick and I do. And don't tell Nick that I'm saying this, because he already is cocky enough about being responsible for the success of my business. But it really is. The vast majority of people that I meet face to face tell me, I live for the date nights. The most of the time, I'm not purchasing anything, but I love watching you guys because I can see how much your family supports you, how much your family is involved in your business. I love seeing how well you work together, and I can see why you do this. I can see your passion. And so when I am able to afford something, I want to give my money to you because I know the family that it's going towards. And that's all that I can want. All I can want is for customers who seek me out, because they know that at the end of the day, when I'm posting about the vacation that I was able to take, or the Christmas gifts that I was able to give my kids, or the cruise that I've earned with LuLaRoe and whatnot, that it's because of them that I'm able to do that. And they can see what their support of my business is doing for my family. One of the greatest things that I've had to learn with this business is that sharing our blessings is not bragging. At first, I had a really hard time going to my VIP group and telling them what my sales were and telling them that I had ranked 15th. There was I think it was my third month, my second full month. My first month was June, but I only sold for 7 days in June. Then my first full month was July, August, September, October. October was my highest sales month. And in that month, I ranked number 15 for the entire company for sales. And at that time, we had, I think, maybe 35 or 40,000 consultants. So being number 15 out of 30,000, I personally thought was very impressive, but I didn't know how to go to my VIP and say, I just accomplished something very impressive that I'm very proud of, without sounding completely conceited, completely full of myself, and vain. And so I struggled with that because I wanted to thank them and I wanted to let them know what their support was doing for me and what being in that position did for my confidence, for my self-esteem, and how it was motivating me to help other women reach that same tremendous potential and be in that same position. Because at the end of the day, that is my blessing. The blessing to me is that what I am able to accomplish shows me how much I can show you guys how much you can accomplish. I want every single person on this team to be in the position where you feel like I feel, like capable and confident and strong. I know that many of you are coming from a place where you are trying to get out of a full-time job that you are not passionate about, or you are completely passionate about being a stay-at-home mom, but you are lacking that what else, part to your identity. And so I want to show you what else. I want you to feel that sense of accomplishment. And you can do that regardless of whether you're number 15 in the company or not. Even if you are never in the top earners of the company, I mean, don't ever let this business make you so jaded that you don't see how amazing your accomplishment is. This is going off track a little bit. It has nothing to do with maintaining your VIP, but people say, I only sold $7,000 this month. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot to you because you sell 30. Girl, do you know how much $7,000 is? It's a lot of freaking money. Do you know how much $1,500 is? It's a lot of freaking money. I don't care if that's what you sold. That's a lot. Pat yourself on the back. Be proud of that. Like, shout it from the rooftops, because you deserve that. You deserve that recognition, and you deserve to feel powerful for accomplishing that much. Isn't it crazy? Like, a lot of us that started this set out to maybe earn $200, $500 extra dollars per month. So when you're looking at that and then seeing how much you're actually accomplishing, keep that in mind. Don't use the people that earn above you or sell above you or are above you as, don't let them, their success get in your head. Don't let it make you feel inferior. Let it propel you forward. They are just showing you what's possible. They will never hold you down from getting there. Reach up, because what I love about this culture is that the leaders of this company will always reach down to help bring you up to where they are as well. So, like I said, this was a little bit off track. I didn't mean to touch on this subject, but I just felt like I had a good niche there, so I went with it. But anywho, so sharing your blessings with your VIPs is going to be one of the greatest ways to make that personal connection with them and get them to want to share you and your group and who you are with the people that they know. Because once they feel comfortable with you and they see who you are and they see what your values are all about, they will want to bring their circle into your circle. It really is like being part of the cool kids club. It's like, hey, I know this chick and she's so much fun and I love her and I love the things that she says and I love her passion for the business and I love her energy and the way that she talks about the clothes and the way that she pattern mixes. Let me show you how fun she is, you know? And so you add your friend because you're like, oh my God, this is so much fun. I'm watching their date night and they're hilarious. That's all it takes, you know? I tell my customers that nothing makes me happier than when one of them says, oh, I'm watching with my mom and she loves it and she's laughing. Like you just turned that shopping, that live sale into a family moment for that mother-daughter. Like, look what you're doing. You are strengthening families and blessing lives without even knowing. You may not know that you're doing this, but it's powerful and it's what's going to then bring them back. So that's pretty much what I wanted to touch on. Loops and giveaways, being generous, customer service, personal relationships, in homes, and what was the last thing that I just said that I touched on? Personal relationships, in homes, and quality versus quantity. So I know that I rambled and I do tend to get off track quite a bit, but I just wanted to open it up for any questions. If you have been taking down any notes or if you have any specific questions that you want to address, you are welcome to unmute yourself and let me know, and I'll be happy to help. Anyone?
Natalia, I wanted to say thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, but I was about to unmute myself and do the same thing.
Yeah, I need to hear that stuff. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad. Like I said, I know that it was a little off topic and whatnot, but I know what the comparison trap can do. And so don't think that I don't compare myself. You know, I see all the other girls who are accomplishing more than I am, or maybe at a faster pace. I will never make mentor in 1 year like Lacey did. But when I look where I started, what my goal was never to make mentor. My goal was to send my son to preschool. And look at the little empire that I've built from that small seed, you know, and it can happen for every single one of you. I really, truly believe that. I see some chats here. I agree, Maura. Yes, I do. This team it's inspiring. I get inspiration from each of you ladies every day, for sure. If there are no questions, yes, we do. We help each other. My success is your success, and your success is everyone else's. I really feel like we are a sisterhood. So I'm a sorority girl at heart, and I thrive for that. I don't have any sisters. My relationship with my own sister-in-law isn't, you know, warm and fuzzy. And so this completely makes up for it, for sure. And then I don't know if I like this whole like not having video thing. That was a little awkward. I was staring at myself the whole time. But if there are no questions, if you are watching the replay of this, I will post this video on the team page. I will also post it on the new Q Club page, which I promise will come soon. I did intend to have it already open and running, but life is getting in the way. So if you are watching the recording of this and you have any questions, please post it on the comments that will be in the section below, and I will definitely address it as quickly as possible. Yes. Jennifer says, I have learned great customer experience from the postings on the team. It has reflected to my business. Thank you to everyone. Thank you. All right, loves. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Saturday and weekend ahead as well. And I will talk to you again soon. Oh, real quick, I will need to reschedule one of the trainings that I made for February because the one for the 7th, how to get your product in front of your customers. I will reschedule that training because I forgot that I will be sailing. So most definitely no training, but I will put that on the page for you all. Okay. Thank you guys. I love you.